time is it? It's transcendent time. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. It's also falling time. Alright, so we only have about... Ooh. Yeah, we're going to be starting right on 20 minutes today. If you want to meditate with me, check the description below, and we can meditate together. More detailed responses, the better. Let's begin. Alright, I will see you in the car. Oh yeah. Alright, that was a freaking sweet meditation. It is sometime later now, and we stopped off at home because I actually messed up with my peptide dosage. So I was supposed to do IGF 10 units this morning, which is about 50 micrograms. And then I was also supposed to do the 2 capsules of YK11. Now, we got the YK11 in, but as for the IGF, that was another freaking story. That it just completely slipped my mind this morning. Like I was, the YK11 is easy because they're capsules. So, I take my vitamin E, I take my fish oil, and so I just take the YK11 with both of those. But the IGF, you got to inject that. And so that was just kind of on me. That was kind of, I don't know what happened. I just forgot to do it. But anyways, we are freaking underway to this awesome back day. This is going to be a lot of fun because I actually rested quite a bit this past weekend. I usually do like a Saturday work on my weak points kind of day, but I was really just not feeling it. I like, for one, I was just freaking sore, like everywhere. I was just not really adept to, putting my body through the ringer for the 6th time in a week. So we took that extra rest, and honestly, I'm feeling pretty freaking rejuvenated today. Everything's just kind of clicking, and we are gonna make this back day freaking happen. And I kind of notice a trend with stuff like this. As long as I rest a little bit more than usual, my training days are really freaking good. I get the most out of them. So, that's probably a testament to just taking your rest seriously. I've had a lot of these Saturdays where I'm like, I could probably push it a little more, but then I'm just not as rested for the week ahead. And not to say, we've been making gains. We've been, growing muscle tissue and filling out our frame quite a bit, but I don't think we could have been doing as much as we could, or, we could be doing a lot more. But anyways, you live and you learn. We're just freaking getting huge right now. I've never, I was thinking about it. I haven't had an off season like this in a freaking minute. It has been years because I've just been competing since I was 19, almost every year. I mean, give or take about 2 years, but I was competing twice a year, every year, up until I was 25, 26. And so that just kind of goes to show you, like, I just didn't really take it like too seriously, or I took it extremely seriously, but I wasn't prioritizing my goals because, I'm competing natural. I mean, if you count peptides as unnatural, then I'm unnatural, but I've been competing natural, so no steroids, in an unnatural or untested league. And so that's been the kicker. I went into like a natural bodybuilding federation, and we got our pro card on the first show. And so that was kind of like a wake-up call to me. Like I wanted a challenge, because getting your pro card on your first show, I mean, that's just not really my style. I wanted at least somewhat of a challenge. So that's just kind of where the cards landed. So, unbeknownst to me, I'm gonna freaking, actually, I don't know if that's how you use that word, but I'm competing naturally in an untested league, and it's been freaking difficult, just on the size aspect of things, because I can go all day with conditioning, symmetry, freaking stage presence. I can do all that, but it takes time to grow lean muscle tissue and to really freaking just, get the most out of it. So that's where we're landing right now. And I've never really had an off season like this where it's probably going to take years. I mean, we took last year off, made some considerable progress, but it's just one of those things I got to kind of contemplate. Am I going to join, the quote unquote, the dark side? And so, obviously I'd make a lot more progress a lot quicker. So that's kind of been on my mind, but I don't know, just kind of one of those things. It's a little up in the air right now. I'm doing pretty much all that I can on the natural side of things, just in the sense that, I'm taking peptides, getting my creatine in, obviously nutrition, training, stress management, all that's in check. So I guess the last piece would be that, dark side, just making the jump, so to speak. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm doing what I want to do at the moment. And what I want to do is just see how much we can max out our natural potential. So that being said, I am still using peptides, so maybe I'm not natural anymore. But I think it's more of a spectrum to me. It's like, how natural are you versus how unnatural you are? Because you can even take it so far as like, if you take creatine, you're the least bit unnatural. But, and then I guess the the halfway point in that spectrum would be, to jump on TRT, because once you jump on TRT, you can't go back. It's permanent. Like you have to keep taking it so your body can keep working in an orderly fashion. So that being said, I'm looking forward to what we have to bring to stage next. But as for the timeline for when we're going to get there, that's a whole other friggin' story, and one that I don't really know. Honestly, I'm just kind of in this stage of just growing and growing, and then seeing how much we can, when we'll get to stage next. But anyways, today is freaking back. We are probably going to be doing something along the lines of probably a pull down, maybe a pull over, definitely some rows. But as always, I haven't freaking checked the program. I mean, come on now, that's half the fun, is the spontaneity and the surprise of just not knowing. I think that's a pretty valuable piece of training, is, you kind of, that's part of the fun, is not always knowing what's going to come next. And so maybe try it. Like if you have a program set up that you didn't set up, try and wait until, that last, like literally right as you're about to hit the workout. If you have time. If you don't have time, I would check the program. I mean, if you have little time, I would check the program so you can plan accordingly. But if you have a little more time, then freaking see what happens, That's kind of how I like to work it, is just wait until I get to the workout, and then once I'm at the workout, it's whatever the program dictates. But at the same time, it's also how I'm feeling. So that kind of ties in with today, because my back, I did not take my recovery seriously at all this past weekend. And I kind of, I regret it a little bit, but at the same time, we can always recover throughout the week. So that's definitely what we're going to be doing. I didn't stretch, I didn't foam roll, I didn't pretty much do anything on the recovery side of things, but we're just gonna have to see how that plays into today. So anyways, that's the freaking plan. We're gonna go crush it. And then for the meditations, those have been a lot of freaking fun. I've really been enjoying it, because I kind of had ADHD still to an extent growing up my entire life. And so with these meditations, these particular meditations, transcendental meditation, it helps me focus in a way that is very inviting, if that makes any sense. So instead of like forcing a concentration or, you know, trying to like furrow brow, like, yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on this thing, you know, it's not like that at all. Like, it really is, you're gently, keyword gently, bringing your attention back to the mantra over and over and over again. And the more you do that, the more that the mantra seems very inviting, because I'll have thoughts that'll pop up where they're kind of above this very calm state in a way where it's kind of like it's like frazzled, you know. It's like either I'm anxious or I'm sad or I'm freaking really excited. Whatever it is, those states kind of have a little more energy behind them, whereas this like calm, tranquil state, it's like the least amount of energy that you could possibly put forward. And so since it's like this very calm state, you don't really have to try to focus on it, because it kind of like helps you fall into it, like in a really good way, where it's like it's like so calming that you want to keep going back to it. Like it's not like you're putting any effort forward, like, oh man, I gotta do this, I gotta, you know, like another thing on the to-do list. Like, it really is like just, it's almost like being at a very relaxing party. Like that's almost like or maybe even like a massage, you know. Like it kind of is like a mental massage, because it's not really, it's hard to describe, you know. Like it's very alluring, I should say. Like very, like it just draws you in a very calm way. And then after a while, that's all you want to do. And then once you come out of the meditation, you start treating everything very gently. And it's like this very, it just makes sense. It's almost like you're going with the grain as opposed to against it. But the key thing is to come back to the mantra gently. That's the key. Because if you don't, then it seems like another chore. It seems like, well, I got to keep coming back to the mantra again, and then you just start getting frustrated and all these different things. But if you do it gently, then it's like, oh wait, the mantra's there. I'll just stick with that. And then you just get into this rhythm, and you just keep coming back to it, because it's a lot more comforting than, you know, thinking about all these different things. I don't know if that made any sense, but anyways, let's go freaking crush this back day. We got really nothing to add to that. It's just gonna be a good time, and we're gonna freaking show this back. What is up? Alright, so that was a freaking sweet fourth rack pull set. But now let's round everything out with a nice squeezing set. Oh my God. Alright, nice squeezing rack pull set. When I'm doing this, it's kind of like I'm holding it up to my hip at the very end. Then almost doing a shrug at the very end. Anyways, let's see where it goes. Yo. Oh my God. How would I do this? That was good. Oh my God. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so back is officially complete. Those rack pulls felt freaking amazing. It was almost like, I think I PR'd. Like that was, I think the most that I've ever done. So, goes to show you, a few peptides and a whole lot of food goes a long way. But strength is cool, but let's see how it looks. See the lights. Oh, calf cramp. Calf cramp. All right, so yeah, that was freaking sweet. First official lift, new food, new peptides, and just freaking enjoying it. But anyways, y'all, I'll see y'all for, what do we have tomorrow? Arms, so that's gonna be whatever it'll be. But till then, thanks y'all.